Hey, hello everyone. It's Chris again with Elliott Cafe, coming to you with another discussion here on Elliott, and I wanted to take a look today at CRWV. Is definitely a super interesting formation in here. There's a lot of lessons in this particular chart, which is kind of crazy and sideways. But I don't know if you've attempted to count it or if you have the count for it. But if you don't, maybe take a pause and try to see if you can come up with something on this thing. Is definitely very interesting. It's one of my holdings. I do hold the stock in my own portfolio. Uh, you know, and I think it looks interesting. It definitely had a few false starts in here, but again, it's in a position where I think warrants a bit of attention. So take a second and try to count it, and then I will show you my counting here. All right, so here it is. I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to pull it up, and then this way, you can kind of compare it to what you have and see if it makes any sense. But I want to take kind of each individual leg a little bit, and then we'll talk about the final one. So clearly, from the IPO, we broke lower, and then long, very strong impulse in here, where it went from 30 to, I don't even know, maybe $170. Then started to come down in what it looks, at the time, it might have looked like a different correction, especially because of this huge rally in here. But I think this could be made into a fourth wave. It's definitely tricky, this one. What I do like about this is the last portion of it, which is a nice five-wave decline, which it tells me that that's likely was a C wave, which means that this has to be a wave A, and then look how nicely it pulled into the 61.8 of this entire rally, right? So if you've gotten long into these levels, was definitely a nice place to do so. A little bit of confirmation. I mean, obviously on this first rally, you would have probably gotten stopped out if you had the stops just below this low. If you because you always want to wait a little bit to see how it reacts. Obviously, from those levels before you kind of start initiating positions, so you start very small. Although in here, you could have said, well, it's a wave four is here, and then you had a final five, and you're almost done. But look, the market did the real fourth wave, and then it pushed lower in the final fifth, and then it's starting to kind of move higher. So it's tricky like that, right? But nonetheless, the formation, it's super interesting. Let's measure this wave C versus this wave A, and you'll see that we've gone basically just a touch more than 100%, almost 114, but we were very, very close to that 100, which is one of the characteristics of a zigzag, right? You have that nice equality in a beautiful zigzag between wave C and wave A. So keep this in mind in here, and then we're going up in a nice little impulse: 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 and 5. So you have a wave one, I would say. Again, some of you might disagree, but that's okay too. You could say, well, this is still maybe part of the whole corrective decline, and this is a wave ABC, so this becomes a W. This is a connector X, and then somehow in here you have another wave Y. And I'll run you through the scenario shortly so you can kind of see what I mean. It's interesting too. I choose to go with this 1 2 1 2. It seems a bit more appropriate, just because if I move this wave 2 here, it will be a very, very long wave 2. Not impossible, but I want to keep a bit of a proportion if I can. And then what's interesting in here, in this correction in here, it's pretty crazy, because you're looking and you say, well, it's a 1 2 3 4 5, it's a five wave, yet it looks like a corrective move, because then you're moving higher in a what looks to be a nice impulse. So how would you count this? Well, you can't really count an A, B, C, because you don't have the C wave in here. But what you can do, remember, wave B's can also be. I'm going to put this up and see if you know what I'm thinking about, right? Okay, so this can be a very simple wave A, triangle B, and down in C, A, B, C, D, and E for a B wave, even though the E wave might just briefly go above the D wave, which is fine if it's by very, very short, and then it drops into a wave C. And this is how you can get a corrective pattern that looks like a 5-wave, but it's actually a 3-wave decline. Another way you can do this, it is by doing this way, and I'm going to show you. We're going to go to a combination, and you can go in a wave W, X, Y. This wave Y, it's an ABC on its own, and it goes A, B, C. It's a flat in a wave Y of the in a wave Y of this WXY. So that's A, B, C, connector X, A, B, C. I kind of prefer the triangle a little bit better. It looks somewhat cleaner, so I'm gonna kind of stay with that. Let me go and see if I can. There you go. We'll keep it like that. So ABC. Now, the other one that I wanted to show you was, and I can go over this with this wave 2 being here. It's again just a combination, but I wanted to go with the triple combination. Let me see. I'm just going to do it like this because it's probably easier. So we're going to go in here. We're going to go W, and then we'll go X. I think this is what I wanted to show. WX. This is just for exercises, so you can kind of see. But since this is an impulse, it cannot be a wave Y. So we'll go WXY. So you can put wave Y here, you can put wave X here, and wave W right there. So now that's a combination. And again, you have wave W in an ABC for a W. So that's the zigzag that creates a wave W. Then you go up in a wave X in here, and instead of an impulse in here, you go in an ABC. Remember, wave X's cannot be impulses; they have to be corrective moves. So the way you do that is this is an X, and it's becoming like an A, B, and then that's a 5-wave move in C, and this creates wave X. So this is wave W, and now you have wave Y, which is again in 3 waves, A, B, C. And this way, this wave 2 moves here. I hope this was kind of clear. I mean, I could have done a better job just kind of deleting everything and just going again, but if you pause the video, you'll know what I mean. But this way, you got to know, kind of how the complex structures, they're structured, and to kind of know what goes inside a WXY, X, and another Z if you even go like multiple corrections. So then this way, this wave 2 will move here, and then the count will start basically from. Let me push this back. It will basically start from the slow, which just starts anyway right at the moment. So this in here again, is it another X, right? So is it W? Let me go again. W, X, Y, X, and we're about to do a wave Z, and then we go? Or are we basically done? Which I want to say we are, but again, I'm biased because I am long CRWV. But here is the thing: if this is a nice impulse in here, in a wave 1, and then this in here, as an ABC correction exactly into the 61.8. And this is what things kind of become interesting, because wave twos, they love the 61.8 retracement. Not only that, but I'm looking almost at the perfection of the zigzag, because if I measure wave C with wave A, here is what I'm getting. I'm getting, you see that green? C versus A zigzag, that's exactly 100%, which was hit today to the penny. Definitely a super nice zone of confluence. Now, this is the condition that the market it's giving us. The signal, though, it's not here just yet. We have a little bit of buying that came in today because the market rallied. Nowhere near enough. You can see just a kind of close in the upper section of the candle. You're still below the 200-day. You're still below the 50. You're still below the 21. So it's a risky entry. However, someone that likes risk a bit more, because every gimme's got a gotcha, right? Something like, there's no free lunch. So if you're going to buy here, it's riskier, but you can get more for your buck in a way, right? You can kind of get in towards the lows. Just know that there is really not a lot of confirmation here. So if the market turns, I would definitely put a stop below today's low, and then if that gets taken out, that's that, and then you gotta try it again at some other point in the future. You can enter very small in here. Let's say if you want to have 100% position, or I'm just talking, when I say 100%, I'm just saying a block of stock. I don't know, let's say, I don't know, 100 shares, let's just say like that, 100 shares, right? Then maybe you just buy 10 over here. It's a very small risk, and you're only risking on 10 shares. Then as the market confirms, as it's moving higher, then you can keep adding. Now your average is going to be higher, but that's okay, because again, you're getting confirmation that the market moves into your direction. Well, the real signal that will come based on this strategy is the B wave, the 132.15. Once you kind of get above that level, 132.15, you are way above the moving averages now, and the wind is at the back. And even though it might pull back slightly by that time, that's the signal that the market can give that it's kind of ready to go. Now, it doesn't have to, right? It could fail, and that's fine. But this is kind of one of the ways to kind of go about this. Like even here, right on the above this B wave high was a nice entry. I don't think there was anywhere else. We never really gotten above this big B wave in here, about 153. This is another level that is definitely important, and what I would look to kind of add and increase positions if it gets back above that 153. So, again, this is kind of the trigger, the confirmation that a third wave is likely to start. Again, it doesn't have to happen, but that's kind of the point. And now you just got to look at how it moves from these lows, kind of moving higher. If it starts to make a nice impulse, something like this, and just kind of watching it every day and see kind of how it behaves. If it gets above the moving averages in here, especially above the 200, if there's volume coming in. So there's really no rush, in here. But I just thought this is interesting, because this is what can happen, right? This wave two can get a bit bigger, and again, this can become, just like I've showed you at these levels, this can become A, B, C, a W, and then you get a next wave here, and then you get another A, B, C decline, and only then you go. Again, it would be too big of a wave two, but I've seen them happen, so I know the risks, in the stocks, and I know what to expect. So that's why whenever you're on a prior swing high, just like this one here, look where this reacted from. Reacted exactly from this prior move, because back then you might have thought, well, this is an ABC or a WXY, and then you went above it, but it failed miserably, right? It wanted to go, but it failed, and it turned back. It created the move, it pulled back into the 61.8, and it was all downhill from there. So again, you don't want to be in the situations when that happens. You want to get out of the way. So just kind of watch it. But just kind of my 2 cents on this. Where we learn a little bit about impulses and corrections and multiple corrections. Let me know what you think. If you count this differently, or if you have any other ideas or stocks you want me to kind of look at. But give me definitely something that has at least $100 million in dollar traded volume per day. Very liquid, something where Elliott wave actually matters, and stocks that are above $20, maybe at least 5 billion market cap. So just stocks that are out there and they're important. I don't want to count a stock that's like $2 and it's got 100,000 shares a day or something like that. Just it's really hard. Those can be easily manipulated, and there's no real Elliott wave value there. Anyhow, thanks for watching, everybody. I will talk to you next time. Bye.